Welcome back, Pythoneers. In this video, we're going to introduce something that happens to all of us when we start learning about, or we start using importing, and at the same time cover a convention. So let's begin here. Let's say I have a lot of files now, and I'm going to create a file here just to demonstrate the main entry. Let's call it main entry file. Entry file. You will sometimes come across this kind of code. It will say if it's a string, if underscore underscore main underscore, oh, sorry, my bad. If underscore, see, it's name, sorry, is equal to main, print I. Let's run this, since this will be true, because this is the file run. And these, when we see this kind of naming, we call it dunder, and this is what we mean by dunder main. Let's explain it more correctly. So here we had our calculator, and when I imported it, because we're not gonna run our let's say our menu program, this integration from there. We're gonna have like a file that says this is the entry point. This is our program. Maybe call it like you often see in larger code files, a file called main.py. This is the entry point to the program, and then we will have subfolders. For example, maybe have one called models that has that say that the person.py we will use. And then maybe we have another folder, maybe called services. This one has one called person manager as the project grows. And now when I import, for example, if I go from calculator, import calculator, and we run this, it's all good, right? All good. But what happens if I had more code here? As I said, we might not just had calculator. We could have had other things. We could have code that outputs, for example, print. I am shouting from calculator.py. And then let's go back here and then run it. See what happened. I am shouting from calculator.py. So what happened here? When I imported this, I also got this. This happens because it starts from top and it goes through everything. It finds the calculator, but it also runs anything. It runs the entire file. So we could have protected ourselves. For example, maybe we in this file we want to test our calculator independently for some reason, and I wanted to make sure test my logic works, but without affecting anyone else that uses this. So even here we could have used the same construct. If name equals well, I think it was underscore main, right? Yeah, we're gonna verify that soon as well. Why that happens. Now, if I save and I run, it no longer outputs. This should only output if this was the script that was that we run. But if it's imported, this should not run. And now if we come back here and we look, let's print name. What do we get? We get main. But now let's do it from here. And of course, if I run from here, it's main. But if I run it from here, because I'm importing it, doesn't occur. But I want to see it, so I'm gonna move it out here just temporarily so we can see it. And then let me see the name of the file, calculator. So just wanted you to see that, because you will often see we were coming to the point we need to know this. We'll have a main entry program, and we want to avoid these kind of situations where we might be confused where these outputs come from. If I had a lot of print statements out here in the global scope. And another point I think I'd cover. So in many programs, like for example, when we went through for loops, we saw, for example, we can take an example, let's say for a letter in, and I just say A, B, C, D, F, then I'll print letter. And then generally when we learned about if statements and functions, the things are inside that scope. so they're not reachable. But since this for loop is outside, it's in the global scope, we are able to do this, print letter. And these are variables that are created for each iteration. So when we come to this point, it will be the last letter it was, which in this case is F. So let's try it. You see double Fs. So okay, just to make it clear, I'm outside letter. We see we can access it and then run. I'm outside the for loop F. And a solution to this is to not have the for loop in global scope. Now, when we were learning, so it's okay, but this kind of behavior can confuse people. But then we learned about functions. So we might have had our, we created a function to show letters. And then in here, we would move all of this. Now, if we go here, oh, let's do like this. Now we see, right? We have access to the letter still at the end of the for loop here, but we don't outside. It doesn't exist. We don't see letter. So it's like a safeguard. And then you might also, not everyone will do this, but you could have had your main running here, or you could have had like, for example, if we take our method here. So how would we change this? Let's kind of copy it. Let's say we'll take the entire program like this. Go back in here. We'll paste it here. You saw we ran this program by at the end calling the run calculator, because all of those are inside. Let's close this like this, so more space. They are inside functions, so they will not run until we call them, and it's how we want it. But we don't want it, this one, if now we imported it, somehow this will always run, right? It will be very confusing. We would just want it to import, and we have this situation. So you might have moved all of this code, this run calculator, you might have had it, you would have just done it down here. So I'll comment this out and then say run calculator. And now if this script is runs, and we run it, from here, run it from terminal. When we look at the command that it uses, it say Python and the name of the file. Then it will run as expected. But if this file was imported, it will not run. Another convention is that we sometimes create a function called main, just to be very very explicit, especially when the file grows. And then in here we would have done perhaps run calculator, and then instead of that run calculator would have had main. And I might not even have created that function in this case. I might just have moved this entire file, all this contents, this instead of run, because it's kind of unnecessary at this point. Calculator. And we will see this kind of code happen later when we are doing, let's say, a little more complicated stuff. We'll see it, for example, when we take the calculator to get the history from a file. So, for example, how would that look if I just create a temporary example here? For example, let's pretend I had another main. Now def main2 just temporarily, not the name we would like, and we would have done this main4 instead of main. Oops. Then say I expect that this will, before we run the calculator, that there is data, that there's a file, and if there was no file, we want to maybe terminate the program so we don't forget to create it or get it. So I might have at this point read history from file, then load it to calculator if it has it there, and then run it's called calculator menu, and then in here we would do these operations, whatever we want to do. But say at this point, at the first point we failed that, then we want to terminate if it fails, and then we would have, then we can use different methods. So here we would have let's see, read history, then we would load history, And there we will then eventually run calculator, perhaps. You see, there becomes easier to read when we have a main. We tell anyone who reads this code, this is the entry file to the program, and it runs in this order. We read history first, we load history, then we run calculator. Now you could just stick to just having this. Most people understand. It's up to you. I think when we work with more advanced use cases, I would use the main, which would look like this. But we will come to that point. At least we have covered this, so we're not surprised when it happens. So yeah, until next time.